And hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Codex podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Sonny Kruger. Joining me today, as usual, are my co-hosts, Jamie Wojcik and Tim Morse.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the Codex podcast. How are you doing on this beautifully warm Tuesday evening?
Way to spike the volume on that one. How's it going, everybody? Hope everyone's doing well out there. Yeah, I can't wait to get into today's show. But first off, let's get some of, as Tim says, the business out of the way. Guys, if you have not gotten the chance yet, go check out the codexstation.com, your one-stop shop for everything Codex. Get some merch, which we're going to be having a new release at the end of the month. It's going to be a limited release. I can't wait.
Neither can I.
Yeah, wonder. Meet the team, talk to us, let us know what you like, don't like. And find all of our socials on there. Every like, share, subscribe helps out tremendously. So thank you all for who has participated in that. We're growing. We love it. We love the community we got. We want to keep going with it. And if you have not had the chance yet, go check out Heroes Corner Comics. Guys, these guys are doing amazing things right now, especially with us. And we couldn't ask for any more. 20% off store-wide using the keyword codex, CODEX, no hyphen whatsoever, and maybe buy a bundle because there's something special in there for you guys, which you guys are gonna have to wait to hear more about on After Dark.
Oh, yeah. Louis will be joining us on After Dark this Saturday. So mark your calendars for that, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a great show.
It is going to be a great show. And today, episode 69 of the Codex podcast is definitely set to be a great, fun one. And yeah, today we will obviously have some news, a little bit of news. We have the F list and we have Pink Pearl, who's joining the F list. And like I said in the pre-show, she looks like she's going to be tons of fun. And we have another round of Do You Know? And finally, we will review Marvels. And guys, with it being episode 69, we've come a long way. And now we're ready to have another great show for everybody. I don't know what's so funny about that. I mean, I don't get it.
I'm with you, Sonny. I'm inverted on this.
I don't want to say it out loud. It was just the way you said the two sentences together that made me giggle.
We've been going the distance.
I don't know. Yeah, we're ready to go the distance today. We said things may come to an
I don't
end
feel hydrated enough for this.
Things may come to an end a little bit faster because we don't have that much news, but we're going to look to go and get a long, full episode, a strong one. We're going to look to put on strong performances for everybody today. And yeah, in the pre-show, we had a little bit of fun talking about old times, seeing the band Kiss, me getting shirtless. But hey, in life, you
why is it every
yourself.
episode for some reason, like we talk now, you're shirtless?
I don't know.
I feel like it's a reoccurring trend.
Maybe it's just with the episode, with the ones we've been on. We've had Sex and Violence 2 episodes ago. Today, it's another day. It's another Tuesday, episode 69. So yeah, getting shirtless. Pink Pearl is on her way to get on top of the F list. But yeah, so either way, I'll start us off with the rundown of the news, of the comic news for today, for this week. And that is that I'll start off with Hitmonkey has been renewed for season 2, and it is now no longer with Marvel TV. It will now be made by 20th Television Animation, and Leslie Jones is set to join the cast. Also, the Image comic Criminal is set to get its own series on Amazon. And now the writer Ed Brubaker is the writer, executive producer, and the showrunner of the show. And the artist of the comic was Sean Phillips. Not too sure who will be doing the art for the show, but yeah, Ed Brubaker is set to be the showrunner of the show. And finally, James Gunn has announced 4 more influences for Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters of the DCU. And now those 4 influences he showed on his Twitter were All-Star Superman, The Authority Omnibus, Batman, and Absolute Swamp Thing.
Interesting.
Well, I'm surprised on the amount of shows that we have gotten and that have gotten canceled. Hitmonkey got a season 2.
I've never even watched the first season, so I don't know too much about it.
I remember talking about when this was coming out because it wasn't. It felt like yesterday, but it was a while ago. And I gave the synopsis of what it was about. It explained that it's a monkey that's taken over the soul of a hitman. And
you go.
I did not think that this, of all things, would get a season 2.
It must have done so good in the analytics of some random thing to have the company be like, let's do season 2, see how it goes.
Oh
Yeah, I
no,
haven't seen it, so I don't want to say like, oh, I know it's so bad or it's so good. Don't know, but yeah, so it did get a season 2.
it didn't catch my attention enough. I'll tell you that right now. To be like, yes, give me all the seasons you can for this.
Give me more. We're on season 6 and 7.
We cancel Titans, but give us Hitmonkey.
Just that cynical way you tell them to give you more seasons. I love it. It's amazing.
But I think it'll be better than Gotham Knights, though. So that I'd place some money on.
Well, that's still going, isn't it? Gotham
Yeah,
Knights.
and they just came out and said that the first major arc is going to be the Court of Owls, which makes no sense.
Right? Because isn't that Batman like a big part of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Batman's dead, and his son or his kid that just parties all the time is the person that's going to have to fight him.
Hey, don't forget about the kids of all the supervillains.
Yeah,
they're all the same age as him. They were all born around the same time.
Riverdale
wow.
of Batman.
Yeah.
There must have been some get together with all the villains and Batman and Catwoman all at the same time in the same place that nobody ever knew about, and they just had this big, massive, promiscuous orgy, and all of them got pregnant at the same time.
Oh yeah,
Going out with a bang.
there you go. Yeah, and that's how Batman's life came to an end.
Now I'm gonna watch
18
Gotham
years
Knights.
later.
Just focusing on that aspect right there. Yeah, okay, I'm watching.
Just waiting for that scene, that flashback scene of the night.
Oh.
Maybe episode 69 of that show, they'll show it.
If it makes it to 69, I'll eat a shoe.
Don't worry, you won't have to worry about eating a shoe because I really doubt that show was gonna last that many seasons.
Watch it be the next big hit for the CW verse.
Oh my god!
Oh.
No way. But yeah, guys, with the James Gunn announcement of those stories, yeah, the Batman. Obviously, there's so many stories called Batman, but there is the Grant Morrison Batman, and also Grant Morrison did write All-Star Superman, which is probably one of my favorite comics. And now he did say that they're not making All-Star Superman the movie or anything like that. It's just these are influences. Sometimes the look, the feel. I believe it was Frank Quietly I saw his name on a few of the stories. Like, okay, maybe he did some of the art for a few of them. So, yeah.
I believe he was the primary artist for All-Star Superman and a large portion of Grant Morrison's Batman run. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. So that's what they're looking at.
That's exciting to me. All-Star Superman is a great story, and now it makes sense why that spiked in price. But to use it as inspiration, I'm kind of curious what parts of that 12-issue series were used as inspiration for the new DCU. So that makes me a little bit more excited.
Yeah, to me, like James Gunn has been posting like all of these, like, oh, look at my coffee table read.
I think there's a comment you got to post.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Hey, Dan.
So it says, I haven't left the house in a week. No food, no job, no sleep. Tim said last week he was stopping by for my birthday. Hashtag no more time, Tim. Hashtag no more Morse.
Well, SHIT happens. Give me your address again, and I'll mail a consolation card and an I'm sorry. Maybe a candygram too while we're at it.
Of him and nipple tassels.
Well,
Dan, I'll come to your house. I'll come over with a case of O'Doul's non-alcoholic beer, a deck of cards, and some vegan-free pork chopper steaks. There you go.
This is taking a turn.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Any more things to talk about the comic? I think we've wrapped up our comic news. And now, speaking of Dan and speaking to you, Tim, next week is Valentine's Day, guys, and we have a lady that. Tim, I was going to say, you may have yourself a date with this one, but you and Dan may have to fight for her or share her. She looks like tons of fun. She is a busty blonde. And Jamie, show us the picture of the first woman to join the F list.
Oh, give me a second.
I'm gonna ride a moped to her house and have her ride on the back of it. Pick her up, take her out. Yeah, oh yeah.
There she is in all her
Ooh.
glory. Pink
In a moo-moo.
Pearl. Yeah. There she
Whew.
is.
That's the position that Tim and Dan want to be in right this moment.
That's
Oh, yeah.
glorious. Is that Beast on the bottom
Yes,
there?
she's
Wait
on
a
top
minute.
of Beast. Yes.
Oh my god.
A beast can't even tame her.
Yeah, and it's ever called, I think, yeah, the Beast one, like they're fighting who could last long with Pink Pearl. And Beast says, or Wonder Man says, want me to throw in the towel? And Beast says, no. And then he says, you know what? Maybe on second hand, I think I will need it. I saw her eating burritos before the match.
Oh.
So there's Pink Pearl. And as usual, Jamie, do you want to take a guess at the history behind this beauty?
Oh my god. I'm afraid to say anything right now.
Just
Usually I'm like, oh yeah, let's do this. But so okay.
Go ahead. Do
Pink Pearl
come on.
had a problem with bullies in her younger years. She was the most outstanding one looking in her class. Prom queen. Most likely to succeed. But bullies still strived. In order to defeat these bullies, she needed to topple them and gain muscle. But she didn't know how to work out. So all she did was consume calories in order to become the rolling pin of mercy, the one, the only, Pink Pearl.
I love this origin.
Tim, would you like to take a guess?
No, I want Jamie to continue with this epic story of redemption and villainy. That's what I want. I'm reading this comic right now.
Okay, and as she fell in love for the very first time, the man of her dreams decided to tell her he can't handle all the love and fun that she provides.
Such a shallow person.
And that was the moment, that one bad day that turned it all into what we know as the Pink Pearl. And no relation to the Black Pearl from Pirates of the Caribbean, even though she'd probably take that out too.
There you go.
Yeah, she can kill Blackbeard.
This is wonderful.
Sonny
Written
hasn't
by
counted
Jamie
Blackbeard
Wiltshire.
quite a few times.
Yeah, like we were talking about the pre-show, some old times. Yeah, Blackbeard. I'll send Pink Pearl on you. But guys, okay, so the real history behind Pink Pearl is her name is actually Pearl Gross. Yeah, that is her name. She is affiliated with the leader of Happy Clams. She was formerly with the Masters of Evil.
This gets worse and worse.
Does, yes. She was a part of the Femizons. I don't know, she was not. Let me look at that.
I'm sure she does not have one happy clam anywhere near her.
Yes, I was right. But yes, I was right. She was a part of Superior's all-female supervillainous army of the Femizons, more who take on Captain America. Pearl was also stabbed before in her chest, but, well, as you can see from the picture, she has a lot of fat to protect her. So she did live. And Pearl, and one interesting thing about Pearl is she speaks in third person. So there's a picture.
Pearl Smash.
Yeah, basically this. Here's that picture. The first one that Jamie posted.
What is her power set? Like, what does she do?
Okay, well, first, so her power set is Pearl is obese. It literally even says Pearl is obese,
large and in charge.
Yeah, from the Marvel fandom, it says unusual features. Pearl is extraordinarily obese. Her powers are she's obviously strong, but she's a little more agile and quick than most would expect her to be. Don't ask me how I know that one.
So no powers whatsoever, just maybe a little stronger than normal.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
But with the first picture that Jamie showed, I do have it on my phone, and Pearl says,
along with all the answers to do you know?
Yeah, she said that. I don't know what you guys are gonna ask, but Pearl says, "Tisk, tisk, tisk. Clementine, you've been such a naughty little girl, telling all those nasty stories to strangers. Now, Pearl told you everything would be just fine if only you'd keep your nose out of Pearl's business. Pearl
Unfortunately,
also owns a strip club for men, and there was a bachelorette party that was there, and they did not realize Pearl was the owner, and Pearl actually threw out the main character, she threw out a superhero, and actually was not in trouble because it was her strip club. So actually the hero was thrown out. And that, yeah, she's surprisingly strong. Yeah.
like what Sal says, similar to the Blob. That's what I thought at first. Like those power sets, but
Basically, yeah.
Blob is basically impenetrable, and you say Pearl got stabbed.
Yeah, but they think she was dead though, so she gets hurt. So she's not as tough as the Blob. She's just Pink Pearl, not a nice lady, but maybe nobody's giving her a chance. Maybe just a guy or two or three need to take their chance on this 500-pound beauty and show her what love is like.
That's right.
So maybe she can do something different besides be a supervillain and own strip clubs. Yeah. Maybe she just needs a date for next week's Valentine's Day.
I'm free and available from the 13th to the 13th. So there you go.
Okay. Well, there you go. Well, I guess on February 14th, Happy Crazy Guy Day, you won't be taking out Pearl. There's something else on the 14th too, right?
Happy
Crazy Guy Day. All right, we'll go with that.
That works too. Okay.
But guys, what do you think of Pearl? Do you think she can make it out of the F list?
Go ahead.
No, I don't remember her from the 90s. Some of that artwork with her on top of Beast looks late 90s, early 2000s. I think she is a villain in obscurity now. Probably enjoying her little corner of Manhattan that nobody bothers her in. And
watch her get a Disney Plus show.
Right, there you go. No, she's somebody that's probably long forgotten, and now we have stirred the pond, so to speak, and now she's going to be remembered, and some Disney executives watching this now is going to be like, hey, that's a good idea for the second season of She-Hulk right there. Pink Pearl. Done. So there you go. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Jamie, what about you?
There's no way.
No way.
It's literally the Blob with a wig.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, we already have the character. We don't need to. But I'm probably wrong because the Eraser showed up in Harley Quinn's 30th anniversary special. So yeah, there's that.
There you go.
I think Pink Pearl, can she? I guess I could see it. Do I think she will? No. Can you imagine if they make a story and it's like Pink Pearl gets plastic surgery and she's now really thin and beautiful? And
the story of Margot Robbie.
Then wouldn't be then doesn't mean she'd still be beautiful. But maybe they find out that now that she's attracting people,
beauty
is still ugly.
An inner peace
because she's ugly on the inside. And then Pearl says, I'm just done. I'm gonna eat all this food. And she's gonna need to fight now. And then again, she wants her rematch with Beast and Captain America, so she gains all of her food and gets herself a rematch.
We have heard the entire history of Pink Pearl right now, right here. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't need to read any issues that she's in. Just listen to this episode over and over.
And maybe she finds love with the Blob, and they have a very bad relationship and constantly fight each other.
Her and the Thing have a fling for about 2 weeks.
Her and the Thing have a fling.
Yeah.
All right.
There we go.
Well,
Pink Pearl.
I'm pretty sure that wraps up the F list for us.
Yeah.
For this week.
We've given Pearl all she can take. We gave it to her. We gave it to her good, and she has found her place in the F list. And there is not a weight limit in the F list. So Pearl, you can eat all the food you want. You can be as mean as you want, as you are in the F list and in our hearts.
Yes. But now that is over, boys, do you know?
I don't, but I want to so bad.
Tell me.
Do you? Do you want to know? But do you know where to get comics for a cheaper discounted price?
Pink Pearl Strip Club?
Ooh.
No, close, but I can show you. Stay tuned.
Ooh.
Everyone, if you're anything like me, you love comics, but you also love a good deal. And our friends over at Heroes Corner Comics have just the deal for you. From exclusives to back issues, graded slabs, current issues, and even set up a subscription with them. And all you have to do is use the keyword codex at checkout. That's CODEX, and you will save 20% store-wide. So don't miss out. Yeah, definitely, if you have not had the chance to, go check out Heroes Corner Comics. They do an amazing job. If you haven't seen the 32-hour max videos of sales unboxings and 33-pound boxes from them, then you're missing out. Their packaging is phenomenal. They're always on time. They keep you updated. They let you know. They work with you. They're just a great company all around. And we'll be happy to have Louis, the owner, finally on After Dark this Saturday. And he's going to be going in a little bit more about you because we have our own exclusive bundle now, boys.
There you go. Yeah, it's called the Codex Bundle, right?
Yeah, and I don't want to go into too much detail on it because I don't have all the details on it, so I don't want to lie to you. So when Louis gets here on Saturday, make sure to stick around, check it out, find out what is offered in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But are we ready for Do You Know?
That's right. We
Yes.
are. It is time for Do You Know? And today the order will go me, then Tim, then Jamie. So we'll start us off. Tim, you said you didn't say that you have our numbers yet. Usually when you say that, you jinx yourself. Do you have
So
our numbers?
I'm not saying that today. No, I lost your numbers. They're not in my phone anymore. So there you go. I don't have your numbers.
Okay. Now he's gonna do good.
Jamie's got 69.
Uh-oh.
So here we go. Question number 1. This goes with Galactus, since he's in Marvels. Okay, so question number 1. Do you know what was Galactus's real name back when he was human?
Galactus of Galact. That's my answer.
I just felt my brain snap. Timothy? That's my answer.
Just Timothy. Well, I'll put it. Jamie, you're right with the one, not Timothy, but with one name, and then Tim, you hit the beginning of it right. Galactus was originally known when he was a human. His name was Galan.
Oh, so close, and I was messing around.
Galan. Yep, Galactus was Galan. Like he was a human billions of years ago.
Wow.
So now we move it on to Jamie.
No, it's Tim.
It's me.
Oh, it is Tim. Okay.
I get overpassed a lot, so it's okay. But this guy doesn't. The guy that is the artist for Marvel's, the 4 issues that we're reviewing today. So, gentlemen, do you know what was Alex Ross's first published work for Marvel Comics?
I will say Marvel's number 1.
I'm going to go with something Fantastic Four.
You would think it would be Marvel's number 1, but no. 2 years before that, he did 2 issues of Clive Barker's Hellraiser, issues number 17 and number 18. He did interior work for that, and that was in 1992.
Very
nice.
Cool. Very
so
delicious.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Well, guys, since we've been talking about James Gunn and his whole chapter 1 thing, I think I'd bring it back a little bit, kind of go over some movies that were before that time. So, do you know, in The Dark Knight Rises, which NFL team portrayed the Gotham Rogues?
I'll let you answer first, Sonny.
Okay. So is who portrayed the Gotham Rogues?
Yeah, which NFL team was the Gotham Rogues?
I will say the Browns.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Tim's got a point.
That's right.
Yeah, Ben Roethlisberger, Hines Ward, all of them were on the team, especially during the major collapse of the field. Hines Ward runs a touchdown in still.
There you go.
Okay, because they were considered the Rogues. Because they were okay. I remember
because they were yellow and black.
Seeing them on the field, but I forgot that they were part of his. Okay, point for Tim.
Right on.
See, he didn't say he has our numbers, and now he's winning.
I won't say it.
Okay, Tim. On to round number 2. Since we talked about the show that everyone's so excited about, Hitmonkey getting another season, do you know what year did Hitmonkey make his first appearance?
1991.
1989.
2010.
We were way off.
Older than I thought, but not as old as you guys thought.
Nope.
2010, Hitmonkey made his first appearance in Hitmonkey.
Someone will retcon it and be like, he was the monkey in the panel of this issue back in 1989, and then they're gonna retcon it just like everything else. Like X-23 was in a vial. You know, that was her first appearance.
Right.
And then Hitmonkey and Pink Pearl fall in love.
Yes.
That's a story worth reading right there. All right, gentlemen. Question number 2. So, company in my background, Marvel Comics. Do you know what 2 company names did Marvel Comics have before officially being called Marvel Comics?
Let's see. I was gonna say Marvel Weekly and More Fun Comics.
Timely and wasn't it? It was like it's Timely and I get half a point for Timely. I already know that's right.
Do you, Jamie? Do you?
It was Timely and Lieber Comics. It's not the publisher. It was like a newspaper at that point, magazine.
I'm changing my answer timely. And no, I'm joking around.
Jamie, can you expand on that just a hair more, and you'll get a full point? Because we don't do half points anymore.
I know.
Remember?
It was a.
So Timely is correct. You're correct on that.
Yes, it was a magazine company that started off, and then they slowly started inserting comic strips into it, and then they became Timely, which Timely started putting comics actually out near the end of their run before they transferred over to Marvel, and Stan Lee had full production of it.
So you're a little backwards. I'm going to give this point to you because you are damn close. Like 99%, you've just got your timeline a little shifted. So Timely started in 1939. They had the comic put out and all that stuff. And then the name of the company switched to Magazine Management. And that was in 1947 until the branding of Marvel Comics officially came, I think 2 months before the Fantastic Four came out on 2 Journey into Mystery and Penny Walker were the first 2 official Marvel comics, and then the Marvel era of comics came out with Fantastic Four #1. So Jamie, you had 99% of that, but it was just a little switched. I'm going to give that point to you because you earned that. So there you go.
I fought for that shit.
That's right.
Jamie, you were so close, and then Tim just gave it to you. And you
sometimes you just got to give it to.
That's right.
Okay, so this Sunday we'll be doing Comic Character of the Week, and it is Red Hood. But do you know which Batman villain did Red Hood shoot in the head to start off the newest Red Hood and the Outlaws fight between him and Batman?
I'll say Two-Face.
Zaz?
You both would be wrong. It was actually the Penguin. He shot him through the eye, through the back of the head.
Ooh.
And Batman basically came down and was like, we don't do that to villains no matter how insecure or how little they are. And he's like, he needed to die.
Wow. All right.
The Penguin. All right, boys, we are going into number 3. Jamie, you were talking about movies earlier, so this one happens to go with movies and with the story we're reading, or we will be reviewing Marvels. Okay, my question is to you guys. Do you know what was the original Human Torch called in Captain America, the First Avenger?
Was he even mentioned? I know they show.
Or more shown as, and you see the name.
He was named as an android, I believe.
The fire starter.
So, Jamie, you're going with the Firestarter. Tim, you're
Android. Yeah.
The original Human Torch was seen in the Captain America, the First Avenger movie, and above him it said the Synthetic Man.
Ooh, okay. There you go. Well, all right. Here's my third and final. This is kind of an easy one, so let's see if Sonny can get on the board with this.
Give it to
Gentlemen,
me.
Marvel Comics, nice and slow, soft and smooth, easy and gentle. In what year was Marvel purchased by Disney? Do you know?
So it was easy, Tim.
It's within your lifetime, so that narrows it down.
Yeah. I go 2006.
Jamie?
I know I'm probably 2 years off. 2008.
Jamie, you are a year
2000
off. Sir.
oh,
It's
yeah.
2009. In August, Disney announced in 2009 they were going to purchase Marvel Entertainment, and in September, the deal went final. 2009, gentlemen. So close. So close.
That's still so far away.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with James Gunn coming out and basically giving us the slate, one of the characters is Booster Gold. Now, do you know what century is Booster Gold actually from?
The 31st.
I was just going to say, yeah, 31st.
Final answers?
Yes.
31st.
Both are wrong. He's actually from the 25th century.
God almighty. Well, Sonny, you lost this week. Jamie, you and I tied.
Yeah, you guys gave it to me this week. You guys pounded me this episode.
Got nailed pretty hard there.
I did. Should have just said the Steelers. Should have went with them, and then I went with the Browns.
Oh, good game. Good game.
We live, we learn. Sometimes we take poundings. Today I took a pounding.
Yeah.
But I'll get up. I will walk away. Maybe not the same as I came today, but you
walk a little funny for a day or two.
Yeah, and I will come back, and I will still be here next week with my special pillow.
There you go.
It makes everything feel more comfortable when I sit on it.
There you go.
And now, guys, that wraps up. Do you know? And now we move on to our review. As usual, I will reintroduce ourselves for editing purposes. See, so I can cut out that editing part. And we can sound all good. We do no mistakes. So now, here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another review from the Codex Station. As usual, I am your host, Sonny Kruger, and joining me today are my co-hosts, Jamie Wojcik and Tim Morse. And today we are reviewing Marvels by Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross. But as usual, Tim will do the credits.
That's all right. Thank you, Sonny. So Marvels came out in 1994, and writing goes to Kurt Busiek, artwork and colors go to Alex Ross, and letters go to John Gauchel and Richard Starkings.
Okay, and as usual, I will give us a little run through of the story. This one's longer. I won't go detail for detail, but I'll give us a little bit for each one. We start Marvels is issues 0 through 4, but a lot of them are considered books. 1, 2, 3, and 4 are considered books. So we start off with Marvels number 0, and that is with the original Human Torch, and it is through his view of being created and seeing the world and eventually escaping. We move on to book number 1, and we meet the main character, Phil Sheldon, who is a photographer, and he is guiding us through the story and through his life. And in the beginning, we see a lot of the original Human Torch, and we see the Submariner Namar, and we see the two having quite a few battles. And we see Phil has a romance with Doris, but eventually, with all the, as he calls them, the Marvels coming in, he says he doesn't feel like a man. He feels like he can't protect her, so he's going to need some time away from her. But eventually, he does show that he does have courage during one of the battles when the submariner is looking to flood all of New York. And eventually, he does come back to Doris. And the two eventually do get married. During the battle, Phil loses his eye. And yeah, and eventually, him and Doris get married. And things seem to be going good, especially when more superheroes like Captain America show up. And even when Phil is in World War II, and we do see Captain America and many more superheroes come to save the day. We move on to book number 2, and this was my favorite one, and this is the one that focused on the X-Men. This one had many more characters, a lot more, you see more superheroes, Thor, Iron Man, we see the Ant-Man, Wasp, the Giant Man, everybody. We're seeing a lot, but for some reason, the X-Men are the mutants are the ones that people are mad at, the ones that people fear. They think, oh, they're going to be these Homo superior are going to eventually take out Homo sapiens. So there's a lot of fear around the X-Men, but still characters like the Fantastic Four are loved. And Phil is even, as he even is able to be the photographer and be at Reed and Sue Richards' wedding. But on the day, before the X-Men, there's a part when people are after the X-Men, and then Phil goes and sees them too. And in his eyes, I like the way the art makes them, it looks like they're villains. There's all red around them. And Phil does not do something very nice. He takes a brick and even throws it at Iceman. And when Cyclops says, don't worry about it, they're not worth it, it makes him get paranoid, thinking, oh, we're not worth it because they're going to take over. But after the wedding of Reed and Sue Richards, everyone's kind of having a good time, and they see on the news that Professor Xavier is having a talk with Bolivar Trask, and then eventually the Sentinels come and they start taking people away. Then there was riots, and I must say that I read a lot of X-Men, and I must say in this book I've never seen the Sentinels look so menacing as when they are above the city and they're shining their lights on everyone.
Attention, mutant, you are in violation of so and so. You will be taken now.
Yeah. So the Sentinels are taking over, and then Phil returns home. At this time, he and Doris, they have 2 daughters, and he thought before his kids, oh, maybe they have a dog or a cat they're feeding in the basement, but we find out that it is a young mutant girl named Maggie. And then when he looks into her eyes, it reminds him of the liberation of Auschwitz during WW2, and he even thinks, I can't do this. I can't go against this poor little girl. And he says, all these neighbors and people that were basically friends to me, they would burn my house down if they knew I was helping her out. But he does the courageous thing, and he does still help out Maggie. And then eventually Maggie leaves, and she leaves a note that she left. She didn't feel that she felt she would bring them harm if she stayed around any longer. We move on to book number 3, and this one focuses more on the Fantastic Four's battle with Galactus. We also see that very cool silver naked guy on the surfboard. The Silver Surfer also helps them out. And yeah, this one had a lot of artwork and obviously the whole story has artwork, but this one, book 3, had the most pages where it was just purely art and even no dialogue. But obviously still there is dialogue, and with Galactus coming over, to feed on Earth, everyone's thinking, oh, it's the end of the world. And this is when Phil even eventually, finally, because he's so into his job and to being a photographer, and I can get that, right? He's passionate about his work. But finally, he says, okay, everyone's going to where they need to go. Even the streets are pretty much empty. And he says, I need to return home. So finally, he does return home to his wife and daughters. And eventually, the day is saved. The Fantastic Four save them. Book number 4 focuses more on Spider-Man and the death of the Stacys. So we start with George Stacy, and throughout the book, Phil has written, he has a bestseller, and he's thinking, what should my next book be about? And then eventually he says, okay, my next one, I'm going to prove that Spider-Man is innocent. And he talks to Dr. Octopus, who basically gives him no information, but Gwen Stacy is the one who really opens up to him. He really gets close with her. And, he even sees that she doesn't blame Spider-Man. And in one part, the submarine Namar once again is attacking the city, and he looks at Gwen and he sees how purely innocent she is, and eventually, it hits Phil like, okay, what these Marvels, they're not just out here to be liked by everybody. They're out here to protect people, the innocent people like Gwen Stacy. And if you know a lot about Spider-Man, you know what happens to Gwen Stacy, and it does not change in this book. Gwen Stacy is killed, and that pretty much crushes Phil. But I will stop the run through there. If you want to know more, make sure to check out the book, Marvels. It is a fantastic one and some of the best art I've ever seen in all of comic books. I mean, there we go. There's that picture of the Sentinels I was talking about. But for me, I love the story. Great storytelling, obviously perfect artwork. And I thought it was interesting for the story to be told from an unknown character's point of view. First, I was like, it's not one of the superheroes, but I really did enjoy it. I really loved it. Like I said, book 2 for me was the highlight book, but they were all terrific. There's only one little thing is I felt the ending was a bit abrupt. I wanted bigger. I was a little disappointed with that, but other than that, it was just such an amazing ride. The whole thing through, I read it within a few days, and I'm a slow reader, and so many amazing cameos in there. Every time it's a book you can go back to, and you're always in a spot. New cameos, especially even though I would have liked a bigger ending, there was still a nice little cameo at the ending of somebody that I'll just say grows up to be a writer. And for me, Marvels is an almost perfect book. Terrific. I recommend it for everybody. And I give Marvels a 9.8 out of 10.
Ooh. 9.8 out of 10.
And how about you, Tim? You picked this one out. What is your view on Marvels?
So, this is one of my favorite Marvel major event stories to read. I go back to this very often. This series broke ground, being the first painted story in comics history, I think, or at least in this medium, like with superheroes and stuff like that. I know comic magazines like Heavy Metal and things like that, and Vampirella may have done stuff like that before, but nothing quite like this with major superheroes. Alex Ross's artwork is amazingly beautiful to look at. It is super realistic, because he uses himself and family members and friends to pose for the particular scenes that he's painting out. And it's absolutely wonderful, the process that man goes through to get the visuals. And Kurt Busiek's writing is beyond anything that I think was out in the 90s at that time. I mean, he was an amazing writer to begin with, still is an amazing writer to this day, but I think Marvel's was the start of some major pinnacle work for Busiek, and definitely Alex Ross. This was the first major thing that he did with Marvel. So writing and artwork, overall, I mean, the rating for this is no surprise. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. This is a must read for anybody that has never read it, and it is a must have if you do not have it in your collection. The single issues are not expensive to get, and the trade is not expensive at all to get either. And definitely get this, read it, enjoy it, come back to it, and enjoy it again.
Yeah, no, I gotta agree with you guys. You guys basically covered everything on this. The thing that I saw most was, if I read this before the passing of Stan Lee, I wouldn't have been as enthralled as I am with it now. I feel like looking at this and then looking back, this was like almost like a swan song, almost for him in a sense. Obviously, I didn't read it when it came out. I just did now, but that gave me that sense of like, this was your work. Here you go. There's your landscape. To me, especially with how this was portrayed and looked later on, obviously it got a lot of inspiration from For Kingdom Come for the DC side. I see a lot of similarities between those two. My favorite part about this is seeing it from the reporter's aspect more than the superhero aspect. So we're getting a different side, different telling, a different perspective in life. It just made me understand a little bit better, looking from the outside in. It didn't. Usually when you read comics or anything in general, like you take that first initial look and you try to figure out what it is. And in this instance, you actually got to see it firsthand. So I love that aspect of it. So for me, it's I can't. It's not a 10 out of 10. I give it a 9.5 because Sonny did bring up a good point. At the end, it was a little abrupt. Like it wasn't just hey, end. It was just kind of like we stopped here. Why didn't we keep going?
Okay, so there we go. 9.5 from Jamie, 9.8 from me, and 10 out of 10 from Tim.
To add just a little point to your guys' minor criticism of the book. I mean, and the criticism is not a bad criticism. It's a perfectly valid one. But my defense to the ending is I think that's perfect because it goes over the entire Silver Age right before the start of the Copper Age of comics. And we see Phil Sheldon. He's right toward the end of his career, ready to retire. Danny Ketch is his paper boy. And I think it's a perfect place to stop. That's just my opinion, though.
Okay.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, it's more like just an opinion thing. Yeah,
dropped it down to an 8.5 for me, but
hey, Jamie's just throwing out his copies of Marvels now, thanks to Tim.
Those grades are good though. Sunny 9.8, Jamie 9.5, and me 10 out of 10. Absolutely amazing.
And Jamie, how you mentioned Stan Lee on the back of the book. One quick thing says from Stan Lee says Marvels is a giant leap forward in the evolution of illustrated literature. And that is from Stan Lee himself. Yeah, and I did like Tim when you did mention how Alex Ross used models and things like that for the artwork. And yeah, there was a section in the back of this trade that shows that even for
you have the same trade that I do.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Yep.
So yes, there was a lot of family, friends, even too. Like I liked for one thing, for instance, he used his parents for the wedding of Reed and Sue Richards.
Yep.
That was almost going to be a do you know question, but then I looked and saw that they weren't always the models for Reed and Sue, so I didn't want to get anything confused. But yeah, great read. And like you said, Tim definitely wanted to go back over and definitely like all the cameos. And wait, is it so and so? Is it supposed to be this person? Even to today. Oh wait, there's Medusa. Wait, is that supposed to be Clark Kent?
Yeah.
So awesome cameos, awesome book. I'm happy with it, and I say we come to our conclusion with our review of Marvels. And now, Jamie, it is time for you to pick our next story arc that we will be reviewing within the weeks to come.
Ooh. So I am going to make this. I'm going to stick with Marvel on this one. And we're going to do Absolute Carnage.
Okay. How many issues is Absolute Carnage?
6.
Okay.
I believe. You don't do the tie-ins or anything like that. No, it's actually 5 issues. My apologies.
Okay.
But yes, Absolute Carnage. 5 issues. Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman. I think it'd be a good place. So
I'm excited about that.
Cool. Yeah,
we'll go into that one.
All right.
Sounds good. So we stick with Marvel, and we will be doing Absolute Carnage soon. And guys, I say we wrap this thing up. That the episode 69 of the Codex podcast comes to its conclusion. We've gone through it all. We've started. We've had our middle. We've had some rough parts. We got to see the gorgeous lady Pink Pearl.
We hit that climax.
We did. We hit that big old climax with Marvels, and now it all comes to its conclusion, and we can wrap this thing up. So quickly from me, Sonny Kruger, thank you everybody for checking us out. See you all in more episodes of the Codex podcast and more things from the Codex station. And now it's time I'll let these two finish this thing off.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you like this type of long-form content that we bring to you multiple times a week, don't forget to hit the like, share, follow, subscribe button. Leave a comment. Let us know how we're doing. That type of stuff helps with the YouTube algorithm gods and the Twitch algorithm gods. Lets them know that we deserve to be shown to other people just like you. Don't forget, we're on all the socials. All you got to do is type in the Codex Station, and that is where you will find us. Excuse me. Shows like After Dark, Decoding Panels, Comic Character of the Week, Codex Reviews, and so much more are done all week long just for you.
And if you guys still have a chance, go check out the codexstation.com. Like I said, it's one-stop shop for everything Codex. Can't get any more descriptive than it. Then it has everything on there for you. And if you guys get another second or two and you guys want to get some good comics for a good price, go check out Heroscornercomics. Amazing bunch of people. I can't speak more highly about them than anything. But as always, guys, you never know what anyone's going through out there. And even making someone smile can change the course of their day or life. So always be kind. And we'll see you guys next week.